Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy, B back again. Today, I want to do a video on the actor Lloyd Avery II. He was born in 1969, Los Angeles, California, and he had a very interesting story. It just goes to show you that no matter how good your parents try to do right and try to keep you out of the wrong way, if you're infatuated by a certain lifestyle, you're gonna be involved in it. Like if you want it bad enough. And he grew up with both his parents. His mom was a stay-at-home mom, and his dad was working. His dad did everything he tried to do to like keep him out the wrong path. He put him in sports such as baseball and water polo. And when he got to high school, that's when he met Tisha Campbell, and Tisha Campbell ended up putting him in a position to get movie roles, such as the Boyz in the Hood role, where people know him the most, where he shot Ricky in his back. And after he did that movie, people knew who he was, but he didn't like that he had such a small role, and he wasn't really known as a person. He was just known as a persona, and he didn't even really have a name in that movie. So after that, that's when he ended up being put in another TV show in the early 90s. He was in a few episodes. Then after that, him and John Singleton ended up linking up again, because John Singleton, like what he did in Boyz in the Hood, so he put him in the movie Poetic Justice. And this one, everything started making a turn for the worst. It was reported that in the screening of Poetic Justice, at the end of the movie, he stood up and was like, "Man, this movie whack," and just walked out. And at that point, John Singleton didn't like that. So him and John Singleton split ways, and it was rumored that he was hard to deal with. So it was kind of hard for him finding movie roles at this point. So he started being in the streets, just doing little dumb stuff here and there. And then he ended up getting a movie role in 96 on Don't Be a Menace. It was still another movie role, a small movie role. He wasn't that proud of it. So what he did was move to the projects called Baldwin Village, I think. And it was nicknamed the Jungle because it was so much crime, so much killing, so much drugs, all of that stuff in his projects. He ended up moving in there and being cool with some teenagers. And at this point, he was in his early 20s. He ended up being cool with some teenagers, and they had him doing petty crimes to prove his loyalty, just doing stupid stuff here and there. And once his family got word of that, his family tried to like talk some sense into him, like, "Yo, like, what you doing? You messing up your career, this and that." And at that time, he had his eyebrows tattooed. He ended up getting his tattoos removed. He take his family advice. He actually tried to get some more movie roles. He tried his best to stay out of trouble. And in 2000, that's when he got the movie role on Lockdown. He got the movie role. He did a good job in the movie, but he didn't like the fact that he was being played as a drug addict. He didn't like that he started being belligerent on set, yelling at people, cussing at people, and he was hard to work with. And in 2001, he got another movie role called Shot. And the same thing, the director said he was a good actor, but like behind the scenes, he was just cussing out people. He was just doing too much. He was smoking weed around the kids' set, stealing cars. So after that, this one, his past came back to haunt him, because in 1999, he was involved in two separate shootings. One with a female, he got to arguing with her and shot her 5 times, and she ended up dying from her wounds. And that same year, he shot a dude twice, and he ended up dying from his injuries. And the police, once everything hit the fan, the police came to his house. There was helicopters everywhere. He was on a little police chase, but he got caught. And he actually requested to get sent to Pelican Bay Prison, because he heard that it was one of the most notorious prisons in America, and he really wanted to be around gangsters. So once he got sent to prison, he thought initially that he was going to beat his charge. He thought he was going to beat his charge and come back out on the streets as a convicted murderer rapper. He wanted to start a rap career. But his plans didn't go as he thought he was. His sentence, he ended up getting sentenced to a double life, spending the rest of his life in prison. And he ended up being a cellmate with a Satanist. And at this point, he ended up talking to some people, and he became a born-again Christian. So at this point, he was trying to get the Satanists to like change his ways and be a Christian. But the Satanists, he wasn't hearing it, so they end up getting in a fight. And the Satanist's name was Kevin. So him and Kevin end up getting in a fight, Kevin beat him up and choked him out and killed him. And when he killed him, it was reported that his body was sitting in the cell for 2 whole days. Even the COs was doing checks, like body checks, making sure everybody was there. They never found his body till 2 days later when the inmate Kevin was praying over his body, and they grabbed him up and put him in protective custody. And because the inmate had 3 consecutive life sentences, they didn't charge him for the murder. Once they got his body out there, Lloyd Avery, they notified his family, and his family rushed there immediately, asking questions, trying to figure out why his body was sitting there too long. They was questioning wasn't any foul play involved with the COs. They actually filed a lawsuit, but till this day, they never got anywhere. Like the right questions, the right answers, they never got anywhere as far as like finding out what really happened. But it's just crazy. And it was reported that when he was about to die, he was working on the movie script, man. What y'all think about this? Is your boy B. Make sure you like and subscribe.